Good afternoon. I'm your host, Richard Carr, and welcome to Today at Tech, where we'll cover the tech news weekly. In this week's topics, we're going to cover pop culture with Natalie Noel and Johnny Johnson's Who Are You? This week, Apple released the new iOS operating systems and the new iPhones. We will discuss that later. In other news, Mr. Edisted says he rocks. Well, he most certainly does when he rocks his babies to sleep. Now we go to Natalie Noel.
Let's start tonight's pop culture recap with the 2021 Met Gala. The 2021 Met Gala took place on the 13th. American independence was the theme of fashion's biggest night. The King, Lil Nas X, arrived in a gold velvet cape. Frank Ocean arrived sporting a lime green mechanical baby, which the internet absolutely loved. Another look that was quickly on the Twitter feed, Kim Kardashian's blacked out outfit. The MTV Music Awards was held on the 12th. Video of the year went to Lil Nas X for his song Montero, Call Me By Your Name. The video also won Best Direction and Best Visual Effects. Olivia Rodrigo took home awards for Song of the Year, Best New Artist, and Push Performance of the Year. The 73rd Annual Emmys took place on September 19th. Bo Burnham won 3 awards for his pandemic comedy special Inside. The special won Outstanding Music Direction, Outstanding Direction for a Variety Special, and Outstanding Writing for a Variety Special. Netflix ruled over every other streaming service. The streaming giant won 31 Emmys this year. In other pop culture news, Peyton Manning reportedly has major plans for his NFL future. The Voice will be back for season 21 on the 20th, with Ariana Grande as a new star coach. A docuseries, Lula Rich, is out charting the spectacular and peculiar rise and fall of multi-level marketing company LuLaRoe. K-pop stars BTS have dipped into global diplomacy at the latest UN gathering, and firefighters rescued Reba McEntire after a stairwell collapsed in an Oklahoma building. This has been a Pop Culture Recap. I'm Natalie Noel. Thanks for tuning in to Today at Tech. Back to you, Mr. Carr.
Thanks for that pop culture update, Natalie. I did not know some of that pop culture. Now on to Here's Johnny. Take it away.
Hi, my name is Johnny Johnson, and welcome to our segment, Who Even Are You? Who even are you?
Well, I'm glad you asked. My name's Naaman Morton. I'm a student at Northeast Tech in Afton, and currently I'm learning video game design.
Oh, you were learning video game design. What specifically have you been learning in video game design at this moment?
Well, there's a lot to take in when doing video game design, but right now I'm more focused on the 3D modeling part of it.
The 3D modeling part, could you give our audience any insight on 3D modeling as a hobby?
So, with 3D modeling, in a sense of you right now, you are a 3D object in a empty space, basically. That's kind of how 3D modeling works, but you're physical and it's digital. So it doesn't necessarily exist.
So it's more along the lines of making shapes and movement over a digital platform instead of like actual physical movement in real life?
Yes.
So anything in 3D modeling that you have found interesting?
With 3D modeling, what I found interesting is I can make an object within a matter of minutes that some people would take them days even to make just in real life. So it's the sense of I can make this object but know nothing about engineering or anything.
So it's practically just along the lines of you find it more interesting to be able to have such a power that most people wouldn't have, especially with the technology that we have today?
Yes, it's kind of like a creative output for me.
Ooh, that's some really nice terminology there. I like your wording.
Oh.
But I do have another question on that aspect. Any projects that you've been doing recently on 3D modeling that you would like to maybe put out there for the audience to get a little grasp on?
Well, I have been working on a human body and clothes of the sorts. With the human body, it's really weird because I'm not an artist. So it's a new thing because I have to learn anatomy for it and such. And with the clothing, it's also different in the sense of you have to simulate seams and all the sorts. It's very long process.
And how complex would you say it's been making a character plus its clothing for the first time?
There's some fun parts, there's some easy parts, and there's some hard parts. I would say most of the time I find out new ways to get around certain situations, certain obstacles. So for most of it, it's been kind of easy, but there have been parts where you just have to put the time in.
And has there been any portion of your experience learning 3D modeling that you would like to bring to light and maybe give a little bit of insight to our audience to make it easier for them in the future?
Yeah, in a sense of kind of think of it as like constellations. So vertices are like the stars in the sky. Edges are like the things that you connect the stars with. And then the empty spaces in between are the faces. So the vertices, you can manipulate the vertices, and that will, in a sense, manipulate the face of the object.
Yeah.
If that gives a more of an insight for people to understand.
I hope it does. Most of the people that are watching, probably pretty smart, being able to understand what you're saying. But I do have one area of this that I do want to go into. Is there any passion projects, maybe dreams that you want to do in the future after you get through your 3D modeling and video game design courses?
Yes, I would like to actually make my own video game for a sense of creativity and really expressing myself to anybody out there that would be willing to try my game.
And what genre of game would you like to make?
I like to make a roguelike.
Ooh, a roguelike game would be nice. Can you give any specific details? Maybe give our audience a little bit of before the whole hype happens. Give a little bit of insight on what your game is about. Maybe spark some interest between the audience and you.
Yeah, I can. So what I would like to let people know is that it's with my game. What I love, and here's a game to reference: Risk of Rain 2. Maybe some people played it. Some people maybe not. But what Risk of Rain 2 does is that you can stack up abilities and items, and you can just keep on stacking until you just die. So in a sense of, I'd like to do that, but where Risk of Rain's a third person, I want to do a first person like Doom.
So you want to give it a massive amount of replayability by giving different builds, different stackable items.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't doubt there wouldn't be different sets that might give special abilities.
Definitely.
A lot of secrets to hold, so if you guys ever see a game by this man released, I'd dig into it. Seems to bring a lot of interest to the roguelike community. But we're running out of time, so I'm going to have to end the interview there. It was nice to meet you, Naaman.
Now I know who I am.
Well, thanks for that introduction on Naaman. Now I'll give you my tech moment. Apple. This company has come a long way since its start, from handheld computers we call iPhones to Apple TV and making movies. Like I mentioned earlier, the new phones has just recently come out and I happen to have one in my hand. And let me tell you, it is one of the best iPhones to date. I think Apple has done an extraordinary job. I think we can safely say Apple isn't going anywhere. I believe we are on our way to cars that fly. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Richard Carr, and this has been a Technology Moment Update. Tune in next week where we will have new topics and new guests on Today at Tech.